Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Peter. I'm a software engineer at Facebook AI Research. An interesting fact about the lab is that when Fair first started, another proposition for the name was Facebook AI Lab. But for some reason, that was not a very good idea at all. Anyway, exactly 364 days ago, I gave a talk here at CppCon on the topic of deep learning with C++. And as you can see, I had really relevant slides in my talk. But the conclusion of my talk was that while most machine learning frameworks out there were implemented in C++ under the hood, none of them really provided a first-class, nice interface for research directly in C++, usually preferring Python or Lua or another scripting language like that. And so after my talk, I ended up joining Facebook. I ended up joining a team there that works on PyTorch, one of the most popular machine learning frameworks, and then actually ended up implementing exactly this library that I complained about not existing 1 year ago. And that's what this lightning talk is about. So let me tell you a bit more about PyTorch. PyTorch is a machine learning framework for a number of domains like computer vision, natural language processing, game AI, or pretty much any other kind of ML or scientific computing you want to do. And it's usually programmed through a Python frontend. But what's good for our purposes is that this Python frontend sits on top of a really rich and extensive C++ backend. And this C++ backend provides things like a high-performance tensor library, CUDA support, since in machine learning land we usually care more about CUDA than we do about CPUs. And it also provides automatic differentiation, since most modern machine learning methods require gradients in one way or another. And so my work over the past 6 months has been to essentially add a new C++ frontend based on top of the exact same C++ backend, which allows you to do ML research directly in C++ without any Python in the loop at all. So let's see what this looks like. Here's an example. So we include the torch header. We have a model, which is a linear layer, which means basically just a matrix multiplication. We have an optimizer, which is a stochastic gradient descent optimizer here. We give it the parameters of the model that we want to optimize. We have a multi-threaded asynchronous data loader, which is for our data pipelines. Then for 10 epochs, we iterate through the data loader. We run our example through the model, get a prediction, compute a loss between the prediction and the label, compute the gradient of the loss with respect to each model parameter, and then our optimizer will update the weights of the model based on those gradients. And what's exciting is that this C++ code looks almost exactly identical to the Python front-end code, which means that we can do machine learning research directly in C++ without any loss of flexibility or aesthetics that you might be used to from Python. And so that's very exciting, but why would you even care, like, at all? So I think there's 3 kind of use cases for this library. The first is if you want to do ML research in high-performance environments. So the biggest user of this front-end right now is a group of scientists at FAIR that does research in StarCraft. So you can imagine you have a high-performance, low-latency game engine in C++, and you want to predict actions for agents. And of course, Python would be way too slow for that, so they actually use the C++ front-end to do research inside the game engine. And the second use case would be more for, I think, more relevant to you guys. I'm sure you all work on some kind of C++ application, and you might want to explore using machine learning in that application. So for example, you might be working on a load balancer for a network application, and you want to see if having a neural network to predict what jobs to schedule might improve something. Then I think having a pure C++ library like this would be a lot easier than having to figure out how to bind into Python and back. And the last use case is just maybe you want to learn about machine learning. Can I see a show of hands who in the past few years has vaguely wanted to learn about machine learning because it seems cool? And keep your hands up if you would rather do that in C++ than in Python. Right, and I guess this library is also for all of you guys. And that's all I really have. So please try it out. The first link is the docs that I finished writing at 4 in the morning today. The second link is the PyTorch repo, so everything we do is super duper open source. And the last link is my email if you want to reach out and talk about your machine learning use case or see if the library would work for you. And yeah, thanks a lot.